Start by making your way onto your back, knees bent, feet planted hip-width apart, arms down at your sides. Begin to gently rock your pelvis front to back, small, controlled movements to help support and release the lower back and to help us connect to our core. Bring your legs to a tabletop position. On an exhale, raise your head, neck and shoulders off the mat. Gaze towards your legs as you draw your chin down towards your chest. Arms extended forward. Hold for a beat, then release with control. Repeat these chin nods a few more times, getting a feel for the movement. In later exercises, as you lift your head, you should be lengthening the back of the neck and nodding the chin down in this same way. This exercise helps to relieve strain and encourage proper form in your core exercises. Lower your feet back down to the mat, hip-width apart. Lift your shoulders to your chin nod and hold. Extend your arms out front, keeping them elevated and close to the sides of the body. Going into the 100, we're pulsing the arms 100 times. For today, keeping our feet flat on the mat. As this becomes easier, you may choose to advance, bringing your legs to a tabletop position for this exercise. Be sure to keep your core engaged and continue to nod that chin down towards your chest. If at any time you begin to feel pain, lower to the mat for a rest and return to the exercise when you can. Gently lower your head and shoulders back down to the mat, hands on your knees. Relax the legs as you rock a little from side to side. Returning your legs to a tabletop position, arms down at your sides, we're doing 10 toe taps on each side. Draw one leg down at a time, hinging at the hip with no movement in the knee, tapping the toes down. Reset and repeat on the other side. Focus on keeping the core engaged, neutral spine, keeping your movements smooth and controlled. Relax the legs, hands on knees. Legs to tabletop, 10 bicycle kicks forward on each side, 20 total. Extend the leg as straight as you can on the kick out, pointing the toes. Now reverse the bicycle kicks for 20 more, 10 each leg. Hands on knees, rock a little from side to side. To single leg extensions, draw your right knee in, both hands around the right leg as you extend the left leg straight out. Lift the shoulders, chin nod. Switch legs, pulling the left leg in, extending the right leg out. Do 20 total, 10 extensions on each leg. Focus on keeping the shoulders elevated, using your abdominal strength to hold you up, nodding the chin down. Lower and draw both knees in for a rest, releasing any tension you may feel in your lower back. Legs back to tabletop, keeping the head and arms down. We're doing 10 double leg extensions with the legs glued together at the feet and the knees. Extend the legs out at an angle. The lower you extend them, the more challenging this exercise will be. If you want to practice moving with your breath, inhale as you extend the legs out and exhale as you draw them back in. Hug your knees in for a short rest. We'll be doing 2 more sets of 10 double leg extensions, each with a variation. Legs to tabletop, heels together, knees out wide to a frog leg position, external rotation at the hips. As you extend, your knees will come together, and as you retract, they will return to a wide position. Do this 10 times. Holding onto the knees for a short rest. Legs back to tabletop, this time wrapping your big toes around each other, heels apart with an internal rotation at the hips. Focus on keeping your toes together, knees turned inward for 10. Pulling the legs in, draw circles with your hands on your knees, connecting your lower back to the mat, giving it a little massage as you rock back and forth. Place your feet down on the mat, hip width apart at a comfortable distance from your hips. Interlace your hands behind your head. We'll be doing modified crisscross abs. Lift your shoulders and your right leg. Twist the torso, reaching left elbow to right knee. Lower back down and repeat on the other side for 10 reps each side, 20 total. Be very careful not to pull on the neck with your hands. Use your core to lift the shoulders. If you can't touch your elbow to knee using only your core just yet, that's okay. It's something to work towards. Release the arms and the legs out long. Place your feet together, pointing the toes, and reach both arms up overhead. Take a big inhale, then on your exhale, roll up starting with the shoulders, keeping your heels grounded as much as possible, and reach for your toes. Exhale as you return to the start position. Repeat this 8 times, each time folding a little bit more on the toe reach if you can. Arms to your sides, bend the knees, keeping the feet grounded and hip-width apart. Raise your hips to a glute bridge, then lower on a 4 count without letting your tailbone touch down. Keeping the glutes engaged throughout, lifting again for a count of 4. Continue for 6 total repetitions, 4 count up, 4 count down. The further your feet are from your hips and the more narrow they are, the more challenging this exercise becomes. If you're finding it difficult, try widening your feet a little bit more, but not wider than your mat. You can also try placing your feet closer to your hips as long as they stay in line with the knees or further out. Draw your knees in and rock from side to side. We're going to roll like a ball, hugging the legs in and rounding out the back. Roll your way to seated with control, lightly tapping the toes down on the mat to stabilize if you need to. Rolling back, don't let the back of your head touch the mat. Continue for a total of 6 times, controlling the movement as you come to seated, and as you get a feel for it, stopping yourself in the upright position without having to touch your toes down. Stay seated on the last rep and extend your legs out front, bringing your feet as wide as the mat. Arms outstretched to your sides at shoulder height. Exhale and twist to one side, bringing opposite hand to the outside of the opposite foot. Inhale, returning to seated, and repeat on the other side. Continue for a total of 12 twists. Feet can be flexed or pointed, and try to keep a flat back as much as possible, sitting up tall on the return. Pull the legs together and bend the knees up. Lift through the chest and get long through the spine. Lean the body into the legs as you slide one leg out, then the other, coming into a forward fold with a flat back. Hands can reach for the calves, ankles, or feet as you slightly round out the shoulders without compromising the lower back. Sitting up tall, place your palms behind you. Bend the knees up, feet planted, hip-width apart. Raise your hips to an upward-facing table, squeezing the glutes to hold you up. Lower with control and make your way onto your side, legs outstretched. You can make a slight curve with the body for added balance and comfort, like a banana. Rest your head on your lower hand and plant the hand from the top arm in front of you for support. Lift the top leg to a 45-degree angle, then lower and lift 10 times. Stay up on the last one, pointing the toes, draw small circles forward 10 times. Then 10 circles back. Draw your toes up the bottom leg, kicking out to a 90-degree angle or wider, reaching long through the leg as you lower it. Repeat for a total of 5 passes. Grab onto that top foot and plant it in front of you as close to hip height as possible. Flex the lower foot and raise the leg. Lower and lift 10 times. Point the toes, circles forward 10 times. and circles back for 10. Release the top leg and switch over to settle in on the opposite side. Lift the top leg to a 45-degree angle. Lower and lift 10 times. Stay up on the last one, pointing the toes, small circles forward 10 times. Ten circles back. Passes 5 times. Plant the top foot in front of you, flex the lower foot and raise the leg, lower and lift 10 times. Point the toes to circles forward for 10. And circles back 10 times. Release the top leg and roll onto your belly. Engage the legs, pointing the toes straight back. Extend both arms out ahead of you and gaze slightly forward. Get strong through the core and raise your right arm and left leg. Pause and lower, then repeat on the other side. Continue for a total of 20 alternate lifts, 10 on each side, using your glute activation to lift the legs throughout. When you're done, draw the elbows up and place them beneath your shoulders, forearms outstretched and parallel to each other. Raise the chest and get long through the back and neck, gaze forward. Cross your arms and use them to support you as you lower your upper body and bend your knees, pointing the toes straight up. Squeeze your glutes to lift your knees. Keeping them up, extend the legs straight back, bend the knees again, and lower the legs. Repeat this 4 more times. Lower the legs and make your way to tabletop position, wrists lined up under your shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees lined up under your hips. Get strong through the core, keeping a flat back, hover the right knee, and kick the leg back and up for 10 donkey kicks, stopping when your thigh is parallel to the mat. Be careful not to dip in the back as you kick up, trying to maintain a strong core throughout. Keep the leg up on the last one, point the toes, and tap them up towards the ceiling in small pulses 10 times. Lower the leg and repeat on the other side, starting with 10 donkey kicks. Then 10 toe taps up. Return to table, tighten up the core, hover the right knee again, and send it out to the side for 10 fire hydrants, aiming to lift the knee as close to hip height as possible. Repeat on the other side. Toes together, knees wide as you sit back on your heels for a rest. You can take the time to stretch your wrists here if you wish. Coming through table to a modified plank, keep the knees down, aiming to draw a straight line from your shoulders to your knees, keeping the hips forward and your core tight. If you're more advanced, you can raise the knees to a full plank. Open up to a modified side plank, keeping the lower knee grounded, and extend the top leg as you reach and gaze up. To the other side, then continue for 5 side planks on each side. As you progress, you may decide to do these unmodified. After the last twist, press through both hands and make your way to an elephant pose, walking out the heels if the legs are tight. Alternatively, you can keep the knees lowered in a table position. Walk your feet up partway, and then your hands back to meet your feet. Lower your hips, bending the knees to hug your legs. It's okay if your heels are lifted in this position. Come to seated, then lower onto your back. Pull the right leg in, hugging the knee as you extend that left leg out onto the mat. You can rotate the right ankle if it feels good. Bend the left knee up and place the right ankle over the left leg. Draw the left leg in using your hands to pull it in towards you. Unwrap and grab onto the left knee as you extend the right leg out long. Bend the right knee up and place the left ankle over the right leg. Draw the right leg up and pull it in. Unwrap, both knees in, rock to seated. Sitting up tall, hands on your knees, start to work with your neck, drawing half circles down. Then if you want to, ear to shoulder, option to place your hand gently on your head to deepen the stretch. Interlace your hands behind your back and raise your arms without folding the body forward. Reach the hands forward and round out the back, making space between the shoulder blades. Then work to release any tension in your joints as you feel necessary. Give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for more workouts like this one.